I believe that Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom and Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards share in a dark secret. This secret will be key to understanding why Doctor Doom feels justified in destroying the multiverse, and it will connect the Reed Richards character and the Doctor Doom character in a way that will delight the fans. For now, this is just a crazy theory, but it is based on a lot of things that insiders have said and leaks that have come out for the upcoming MCU projects. I think it's real. And I think after you watch this video, you're gonna think it's real too. Now, to set the stage for this theory, I think we need to begin with understanding the motivation for Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. Now, I've made several videos about my theory on what's going on with Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom, and so I'll kind of try to TLDR this part here, but basically we know that Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom wants to eliminate the multiverse because he thinks the best way to control everything and to stop the incursions is to just have one singular universe. But we've also been told from insiders that Doom will be a sympathetic antagonist. In fact, in some ways, he's supposed to be more sympathetic than even Thanos. That means the audience will understand and have sympathy for what Doctor Doom is trying to do. Now let's talk about Reed Richards. It has been reported by insiders that Doom and Reed will have a connection and a history together. It is said that they both come from the same universe, which we originally assumed was the universe of the Fantastic Four movie. Because if you didn't know, the Fantastic Four movie is not happening in the MCU 616 universe, their main timeline, the sacred timeline, and instead it is happening in a completely different universe. More on that in a bit. We also know that Reed Richards will have a son with Sue Storm, known as Franklin Richards, and this dude's gonna be crazy powerful. So much so that Galactus himself is going to come to Earth to speak with Reed about his son. Some people are suggesting that Galactus actually wants Franklin, and if he doesn't get Franklin, he's going to destroy this Earth. But interestingly, there is an old rumor that indicates that that version of Galactus that we're going to see in the Fantastic Four movie, he does not come from that native universe either. So, a couple of important things to keep in mind when talking about this theory. Number one, according to the Russo brothers, this version of Doctor Doom is the version of Doctor Doom, and it had to be played by Robert Downey Jr. According to insiders, Doctor Doom and Reed Richards are from the same universe, and they will have a history, although it won't be explored much in the actual film. Now let me talk to you about a brand new rumor out there and how this new rumor kind of ties a lot of these things we know together. According to the new rumor, the Fantastic Four are not from that universe either. What that means is the universe that they find themselves in when we watch them in the movie is not the universe that they actually originate from. Now, I'd like to stop for a second and just explain to you guys that this is not confirmed. This is a rumor, a rumor, a rumor. And in fact, it's important to note that this is coming from somebody like the Geeky Cast, who I like and I think is actually pretty good at finding scoops, but it has not been corroborated by any of the really big scoopers or big leakers out there. But it has also not been debunked by any of those same scoopers. So that leads me to believe it probably is real. So maybe you're starting to see where this is all going to, but let me now talk again about the theory I have about Robert Downey Jr. And I've made multiple videos about this, but essentially what I believe is happening is that Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, when he was Tony Stark, was never actually Tony Stark, and instead that was a Victor Von Doom variant that was adopted by the Starks, and he lived his life thinking that he was Tony Stark. Now what this actually means is that this universe, the 616, where that variant of Victor Von Doom was adopted by the Starks and became Tony Stark, it means that that reality is not a true reality. And in fact, we know it's not a true reality. It is a reality that was created by He Who Remains. That's the canon of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. After the multiversal war, He Who Remains harnesses the power of Alioth and he ends the multiversal war. He then recreates the timeline, recreating the sacred timeline, and he uses the TVA, which is filled with a ton of variants, probably from the old version of the universe, and he uses all of those variants to police the timeline. And we know that beyond that, he had the Loom as a backup plan. So it's a fake reality, and I believe that Victor Von Doom will witness this false reality and understand what is going on. And that's corroborated by new rumors that Doctor Doom, the RDJ variant of Doctor Doom, is going to be present in Iron Man 1, and we will see that from his perspective in the Doomsday film. I talked about this in a recent video, but it's insane, guys. So this could be that variant of Victor Von Doom dream walking into the sacred timeline and seeing how perverse and how weird it is compared to the previous version of reality. Now, let's go back to Reed Richards and Doctor Doom. How can it be possible that Reed Richards and Doctor Doom come from the same universe? How can it be possible that they have a history that will have a big role in whatever happens in Secret Wars? And how can it be possible that both of these characters in Reed and Doctor Doom are about to be established in the MCU, yet they are supposed to have this long history that will be very important to Secret Wars? Well, the answer is obvious. The answer is that they do actually both come from the same universe, but it's not the one we're going to see in the Fantastic Four universe. It is instead the version of 616 that existed before the multiversal war and before He Who Remains recreated the sacred timeline. So their dark secret is that they are both from an original version of the 616 timeline, and that they somehow survived Secret Wars, the collapsing of the other version of the multiverse. And in fact, I'm starting to think that these two black holes that we see at the end of Loki season 1, and then remember that crazy ship that apparently goes through the black holes? I think that was probably the Fantastic Four. And I'm not exactly sure like how Doom also escaped that version of the cosmos before it was recreated, but he's Dr. freaking Doom, so I'd assume he figured that shit out. And it would allow for this dark secret to be super relevant in Doomsday and in Secret Wars. Because think about it, how are the Fantastic Four from this new movie going to be really important to setting up the Avengers versus God Emperor Doom? Well, it'll be that they've already been through one Secret Wars, that they are from a prior version of the 616 universe. It'll be that Reed knows Doom intimately from the prior version of the 616 universe, and it will set up Victor Von Doom as that sympathetic villain that all of the scoopers keep talking about. And another reason that I love this theory is because right now a lot of fans are super worried about Reed Richards and Doctor Doom specifically. In Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars, the whole dynamic between Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom is a huge part of how that story is resolved. At the end of that story, we see Reed Richards and Doctor Doom with the Molecule Man fighting. And the whole argument here is that Doctor Doom is saying, I saved the multiverse, but you think you could have done it better, Reed. And Reed is saying, yes, I am grateful that you did save the multiverse, but you know that I could do it better than you, Victor. Then Victor, in a moment of weakness, admits that yes, Reed would have done better. And then the Molecule Man is like, okay, well, it's decided then. And boom, he takes all of that godlike beyonder power and just gives it to Reed Richards. And so in this scenario, Marvel can have their cake and eat it too. They can technically establish these two iconic characters super late into the multiversal saga, and yet draw them all the way back to a version of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that existed before the one we have been watching for 15 years. And in fact, it establishes this idea within the audience that there was a more pure version of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, one where the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Spider-Man, and the Avengers were all existing together. And again, that makes Doom sympathetic, but it will also make Reed Richards sympathetic when he and his son Franklin recreate the next version of the MCU, which is supposed to be a soft rebooted version where all of those characters exist together, where the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, and the Avengers are all together. So I really think this is true. I think it solves a lot of the narrative issues that people are having with this, you know, kind of rushed ending to the Multiverse Saga. I think every little piece of information that we've gotten about Doctor Doom and Reed Richards fit perfectly within this theory. And I think it also sets up the soft rebooted version of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is something that Kevin Feige wants to do. I know it's a crazy theory. I really do think it's real. Would love to know what you think about it in the comment section below. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.